Give me the headlines presented by Hyundai. Let me find it in the rundown here. Hold on. I started scrolling prematurely. We're at it. 49ers beat the Jaguars 34-3. This was not a buzzer beater at any point.
No.
This was the 49ers saying, we are angry that we had a 3-game losing streak.
That's right.
We never should have had that 3-game losing streak. And we're going to take it out on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's right.
Your headline for this game is?
The young and the rested.
Oh, nice.
I got it. You got it, Chase Young. They were rested off the bye week. You got it? Good. I just want to make sure everybody's up to speed.
And that was all you, right?
It was not all me. I actually said the young and the restless, and then the cackler came in and said, how about the young and the rested? And it all worked out. So it was a good team effort by me and Pete.
We give you the credit, and in the process, we make fun of you.
Right.
So
that's how
cool.
it works,
it's
right?
Like, he passes on the credit. He goes, keep up my name out of your mouth. The 49ers, man, I don't know what this is the team that we were like, what happened to this team? Well, here they were. I just, Shanahan, first off, smart. Right, they're going to go back to the lab in a week off and reevaluate what they need to do, what needs to be tweaked, what needs to be changed, whatever. He's going to get Steve Wilks on his frame of mind thinking situations. And then the big thing, I think, is the health, right? The health was huge. McCaffrey totally 100% healthy. Debo back in the lineup. Trent Williams playing, right? None of that. And then you add Chase Young. And there's some other guys that were banged up on the defensive side of the ball that just get to come back and be totally, 100% fresh, healthy, and crazy mofos like they are. Yeah, that's what jumped out to me. I think the big thing with the 49ers is, Zach Wilson just threw a pick. He had a great drive here. The Raiders are going to end up winning this one 16-12. Made a lot of nice throws, just threw a pick to Spillane. They're going to lose. Jets are going to lose. Okay, so, but going back to the 49ers there, all right, let me say with some of the things on the offense. When Shanahan has the full cast of characters healthy, Kittle healthy, Ayuk, Debo, McCaffrey, he's almost unstoppable because like we talk about with some of the offenses that bother us that don't tie things together, that's where Shanahan's brilliant. It's like, hey, we got to toss to McCaffrey. Hey, we got to toss to McCaffrey. But it's also about setting something else up off of it. Oh, here's the fake toss to McCaffrey. There goes Debo on the reverse. Touchdown Debo, right? There's always something to it there. And he's so good at playing his stars off of each other. That's what I love about Shanahan more than anything. So he gets that going, right? A motivated group like you're talking about, O-line healthy, Purdy, chip on his shoulder. People telling me I'm Brady, and now they're telling me I should be benched, which was wrong. He played great. And then I think when you add on the defensive side of the stuff, here's to me where it jumped out right away. Matt Casey, producer of Football Night in America, he's sitting here behind us. When the game started, I went, Niners just came out with 5 D linemen. They just came out in 5 D linemen and said, the hell with our coverage. You're not going to have enough time to get anybody open down the field. We're going to smother you right here. And that's how this game's going to be. And to me, that was the big thing I looked at. We know those guys up front are awesome for them, right? But I felt like there was some different alignments, like you've heard me talk about with the 49ers up front, just to give their guys a little schematical advantages. Just not to be like, hey, it's a 4-2 cover 4, and we're just lining up in it. Hello. There was plays where it was like, wait, 3 D linemen are over here. Fred Warner's over here with 1 D lineman. Who's blitzing? Who's coming? How are they going to do this? Oh, they're doing a stunt off it. I felt like they gave some different looks up front that stressed Jacksonville out in a big way and never let Jacksonville get into a rhythm. Yeah. And then they got behind, and then we always what we talk about. Once you get behind in the 49ers, good luck with that crew and those pass rushers guys and all them teeing off on you. Yeah, I feel like this is let's put it in almost pen at this point. We have to look at the 49ers for Wednesday. Don't you think so? Don't we with Young in there?
With that kind of
part of your Young and the rested.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how does he change? Yeah. Like what his
abilities are.
And I think
we'll get into see what Wilks tweaked with on the defensive side,
what
right?
What about Wilks? And I think we have a question from a homie here. B-Ball Daniel 1, Damo K, Niners D. What adjustments did Steve Wilks make that paid off for the Jags? Maybe some more film review will have to be done before you can give a definitive answer on that. But I do know this. Yeah. He was in the booth, then he went to the field.
There's something to that.
Is there like Matt Canada? We'll talk about the Steelers here in a bit. He went booth to field, right?
You spend the whole week calling defenses from the field on the practice field, right? Yeah. You get trained to I can see the field the right way, right? It's not perfect where you can see everything and every little alignment, but what you do to get on the field is leadership from guys, get in their ear a little bit, encouragement, or what the hell are you doing, right? Or hey, and then I think it's you get a little better feel for the flow of the game in person, right? Where you could be up in the booth going, hey, our D-lines, we're playing okay, and then you get on the field and you go, oh, actually, we're kind of being pushed around. I guess I was giving our D-line a little more credit than it should be. It does give you a different perspective that way, let alone to have the defensive coach, all the defensive linemen sitting there. Oh, now he's coming over and checking you. And, hey, we want to do this, and let me show you this picture and all that. He's the best coach on the defensive side of the ball. So now the message is coming straight from him, straight to the players. I think there is some beauty in that.
I would think the flip side of it, too, for the players, having him accessible to run things by or say, hey, man, this is not working. We need to do this, right? It kind of gives the players more of a voice, and it feels like they have more accessibility.
I think there is that. And you're seeing it firsthand to go along with that instead of maybe relying on other coaches to tell you, oh, they're doing this to us. We need to over-adjust. And when you're on the field, you might panic up in the box. You go, that sounds like we're a little panicked down there. We need to adjust to this. Let me adjust. Let me change this, right? Where you're on the field, you're like, hey, we're okay. We're okay. Yeah, they're pros too. They made a play. We don't have to totally reorganize the game plan here because they made one 20-yard completion, right? So I think that's all of that happens at some points there. But the one thing I wrote down, and to answer our listeners, question there, is the 49ers D being more creative on the D line, right? It jumped out to me from the get-go, and when the game was 10-0, I wrote it again because I just saw some alignments where I went, they haven't done this or they haven't aligned like this all year long, whether it was the 5-man fronts or, 3 guys to one side, a linebacker and another defensive lineman to the left side. They just did some things there that I'm sure toyed with Jaguars rules, right? And they didn't know how to protect it, how to block it in the run game. Oh, wait, this guy dropped out. What coverage are they doing? Trevor Lawrence never looked comfortable throughout the day. Totally harassed. Jacksonville, this will serve them well. I will. Because they're going to learn, a little bit oh, this is Super Bowl team intensity. We're still a young team. We've seen it here and there. We've talked about that. But they got a feel today for a team that knows how to rev it up as about as anybody in football.
Yeah.
And those are the type of teams you're going to play as you get in later in the season, whether it's the Chiefs on the road, the Ravens, whoever, right? Where you're going to go, no, our level of intensity, detail, all that has to go up here if we're going to beat these type of football teams.
Yeah, it was Doug Peterson's what happened there? And then Trevor Lawrence is don't worry, we got it. Second half. The Chargers game, no, the game's over.
Yeah, this ain't the Chargers. This is the 49ers.
The game is done. Yeah,
right.
Don't try to pull a Chargers on this one. Brock Purdy, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and that one pass to Kittle was awesome. He double pumped, he brought it back, and then he had everyone in his face. He didn't even follow through on that.
No, he had kind of just it really was perfect placement. I love that call. 2nd and inches, defenses always overplay it. You're going to get optimal, perfect passing looks. He wants to throw, I think it was the Ayuk over the middle.
Okay.
It wasn't there. So there he is, tries to recock it with somebody in his face and puts a ball right on the money to Kittle up the sideline and made things interesting. So, big play by him. Purdy, big bounce back. 49ers, big bounce back.
Cowboys get a big win over the Giants. We put this in the printing press, too, just so you can put it to bed. You're right. Write the headline, write the story, and then ship it out and don't think about it ever again for you. 49-17 is the final score. Your headline for this game is?
Gosh, I could be dirty. I could say so many things, but I'll say home sweet home because Dallas is damn good at home. They're a different team in that stadium, on the field turf. They're fast as hell, and it showed today.
Longest home win streak since 1979 and 81. They've won 12 in a row now at home, dating back to last year.
That's
something.
It is something. They're a team that's built for that surface for sure. They're a speed team, not a size team like we talk about. And when you have that, the field turf is
definitely better than running on grass that way. I think it's the second week in a row we can look at it and go, listen, we knew their defense was going to dominate. There's nothing to break down there. I mean, shit, I think you and me could have gone out there and played defense and we held the Giants to maybe, 20 points.
Definitely.
Somewhere. They had to hide us and game plan around us a little bit, but we could have figured it out. I mean, they had no chance. But I think run game, Cowboys.
Look at that.
I know.
640 total yards to 172. What was Morgan saying? Morgan was saying it was the largest disparity in
yards.
In yards and
I don't know,
NFL.
Giants history. Probably
something like that. That was the stat. It was like it's got to be. That was it. They didn't know for sure, but since 1979,
when the year Dad was drafted.
Yeah, right. That's when they start all stats. They go, when was Chris's dad drafted? Okay, 79. We'll start our stats there. But that's insane. You just don't see that. Obviously, the Giants are in shambles. They've had injuries, but you just don't see that.
No, it's disaster. Right. The one thing I'll say with the Cowboys. I like the way Dowdle looks at running back.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He runs hard. I think they might find something there. Him with a great little combination with Pollard. And then I think the other thing for the second week in a row, and I give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit, is he's breaking out of his mold of the shortest passing team in football the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. And here we are 2 weeks in a row where it's like, screw the 5-yard slant. We're going to look for the 50-yard post. We're going to look for the 30-yard crossing route. And I feel like it's opened up the field for them, right? And as we've talked about it before, and you've heard me say this a million times, all these coaches that think, I'm going to make it easier on the quarterback and throw the ball 4 and 5 yards. It's not easier. It's easier to read the field and see the field when things are spread out and people are down the field and creating separation. And Dak Prescott is great at hanging in the pocket and pushing the ball down the field. He has statistically been one of the best down the field throwers of the football the last 4, 5, 6 years of his career. So that's where I like to see that change from them, and I think it makes them a much more dangerous offense altogether. Holy crap. The Jets
almost
just threw a Hail Mary and almost caught it.
I didn't think he'd be able to get it down there.
His arm's special, right? He was running to the left almost out of bounds and threw the ball 60 yards. And gave his guys a chance, but Raiders.
We'll let this one decompress. We'll get to that one here
Yep.
in just a bit. So the Raiders get the win. Robert Saleh doing a bro hug. Robert Saleh, by the way, the beard is much darker. I think it's a much darker beard this week than it was last week.
Yeah, it does seem a little darker than last week. I don't know if that grew in more, if we're dyeing it. I don't think he would dye it. I don't know. Maybe he would. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll ask him.
I'm
next
sure.
Time we see him.
I'll ask him.
This is from across the bedroom.
Yeah.
He says, "Damn okay, my king Dak Prescott lighting it up on the field, throwing for 1,000 plus yards in the last 3 games."
Yeah.
My question: if Dak keeps playing like this, does he enter your top 10 quarterbacks again? Big fan of the podcast. Keep it up. So I just checked it.
Yeah.
He was 13th.
Last year was, I think, the first time he dropped out of the top 10 in a long time, right?
Can he win you back?
Definitely. Yeah, I think last year, like we talked about, it was some of his worst play was in big moments, right? The turnovers were ridiculous last year, and he missed some plays and throws in the pass game last year, let alone I didn't think he made as many plays off schedule. But the way it looks right now and the way he's been playing here as of late, yeah, he certainly can get back into my top 10. I have so much respect for Dak Prescott, right? It's not always perfect, but toughness, leader, never blinks, doesn't let Jerry Jones or the Cowboys fan base and all that ever get him down. He just keeps staying the course, and that's why he's the perfect quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
And that's why I root for him, because he does and handles himself the way an NFL quarterback should handle themselves.
Yeah. Eat soup. That seems pretty cool. That's a cool thing to do, right?
It is. I love soup.
Not a lot of people.
I'm like a soup every day kind of guy.
You're a soup guy.
I am.
Every day?
Every day.
It seems
I know.
excessive.
I know. Do you eat a sandwich every day?
I don't.
Oh,
no.
You don't? Damn. What do you have for lunch every day? I don't know.
Hard-boiled eggs.
Okay.
Protein and fiber.
Yeah. Hard-boiled egg for lunch?
It's very healthy.
Damn,
amino acids
I know.
in there.
Damn,
yeah.
I don't want to be that healthy.
Soup is high in sodium. You got to watch out. You got to be careful on that.
Yeah, I'm a low in sodium naturally guy, so it helps me out.
Oh, that's interesting.
It is. It
All right.
is. Yeah. Cool. But I do. I'm not even joking. A soup a day.
Soup a day.
Yeah.
For lunch?
Most of the time, right. That's like the one meal my wife doesn't make for me, so I have to make it, so it's already made, and I just have to heat it up.
What do you do, in a pot, or do you put it in the microwave?
Like Whole Foods has those pre-made,
Okay.
like chicken and rice soup.
Yep.
They have a minestrone. They got a chicken tortilla. So I dabble in all those. I kill them. I really do.
Wow.
Yeah. Chicken noodle, normal chicken noodle.
If you haven't had it for lunch, maybe for dinner, or maybe in between lunch and dinner.
Sometimes I do both.
Wow.
Sometimes my wife's like, what do you want? And I'm like, well, I've had 2 soups already, but I'll have a third, because I want to make it easier on her.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's fulfilling.
I've known you for 4 years.
You didn't know that?
I don't.
I know you're intrigued, right? You're like, the hell with the rest of the podcast. I want to ask you more about this.
We could talk about this for another 5 to 10 minutes. That was Give Me the Headlines, presented by Hyundai. Pete says we have to go though, so we have to.
Sorry, Hyundai, we ruined that segment by talking about my soup. Blame Ahmed.
Giants have the number 2 overall pick, by the way, right now. If the season were to end right now, so Pete's going to just slide that in every time.
I know.
Something positive.
They're in the Caleb Williams, Drake May sweepstakes, as everybody is starting to say up here in New York. Yo, what up, homies? Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Right now, we got Sunday pod, right? So you can have it Monday morning. We recap all the action. Wednesday, it's the What the Happened podcast. We're going to get deep in the weeds on the key matchups of the week. And then Thursday, I'm picking games with that jerk Florio. So you know where to find us, homies. Keep watching. Peace out. We'll see you.